He says he dislikes the idea of having children of his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him? Maybe the fact that he's a cold-blooded murderer, I don't know.
It asks for something to be sacrificed in order to destroy whatever anchors the wraith. A sad tale, that one, but the simplest grudge can bring the ugliest, even in the kindest person, with some people none the wiser.
Whoa! Okay, wow! Alright! Great, I didn't know there was gonna be a CG for this!
Swear it to me, or even better, prove it to me.
I'll stay forever with you, Lorraine. I swear it to you. How do I even prove it to you?
A large glass shard from the wine bottle, cold and sharp.
You join me.
Oh my god! Whoa! Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to The Letter. So we are going to be starting Rebecca's chapter, and this time I'm going to make sure she stays alive because she needs to be. So let's see what happens when she actually does stay alive. Okay, so since I already hung out with Luke in my first playthrough, I'm actually supposed to let Rebecca go hang out with Ash so she can end up talking with the professor and they can get more information about, like, you know, what Zach found already, and we can kind of connect the dots. So we have to go to Ashton. Sorry, Kylie, it was interesting hanging out with both of them, but he was being a dick during that dinner too, so we gotta go. Though, when you look at it closely, it isn't such a difficult decision to make. First and foremost, no matter where I look at this, it is inappropriate to some degree. Disregarding Luke's honest intentions, I've only known the man for a grand total of 2 days, including today. If I'm going to be thoroughly specific, I'll give it a grand total of the amount of 10 hours. By all means, that's not enough reason for me to join them for dinner, even if he says Kylie's the one who requested it. 2 other people, it won't appear as innocent as he makes it out to be, and if there's one ugly thing about the city, it's this place's penchant for an aim in gossip. One little spark, it'll spread like wildfire. Who knows how far it will go, how many ears it'll reach. What if Ashton hears about it? I'd rather not think about the consequences to that. I've got enough on my own plate lately as it is, being at the center of humor, mill along with this man, in whatever form it takes. Sends unpleasant chills down my spine. My answer must have already shown on my face as Kylie's smile immediately dissolves into a pout.
You're not gonna join us, are you?
I'm sorry, Kylie. I'd love to.
Sorry.
But I have other things to do. Another time, maybe? A friend just texted me about something urgent, and he wants to meet tonight.
Just say it's a date, Daisy. The little rugrat will understand.
Oh my god.
She's not an infant. No need for blatant lies.
He instantly crawls on my face at his baseless insinuations. Oh, what I would give for another real chance to put a real dent in his skull.
What even gave you that idea?
It's kind of obvious. Rebecca shows it very easily.
And even if it is, why do you care? Stop sticking your nose in other people's affairs.
Oh, your face says it all, woman. You think I won't recognize those longing looks?
There isn't a look, there isn't a look, all right?
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, Daisy.
You already have a story written inside that head of yours, don't you?
Oh, please. It's not that interesting. The color of your face does suit you, though. Matches the hair. Well, come on now, Munchkin. I'll just buy you an extra glass of that parfait.
With extra strawberries?
I'll get you a basket full if you want. As long as you behave. And no complaints if they don't have enough syrup again. Deal?
Deal. Have fun with your date, Miss Pink.
Ah! Luke's already leading the child away before I can correct her. Upon reaching the end of the hall, however, he doesn't miss the chance to shoot me another one of his infuriating winks. Does he really think women enjoy those? I'd sue him for harassment if I can. Though, I must admit, the two of them walking together hand in hand is an endearing sight itself. He says he dislikes the idea of having children of his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him? Maybe the fact that he's a cold-blooded murderer, I don't know. It's something to mill over, along with every other confusing and frustrating thing about this guy. Some other time, though, Ashton's waiting. His car's headlights have been left on, illuminating the otherwise empty parking lot. If it's like that, this is probably going to be a quick visit. Although our landlady would preferably have a few hundred words to say about this before letting it go, not many in this complex owns a vehicle anyway to warrant the space frequent use, owing to this area's proximity to downtown Luxbourne. No one's going to be disturbed if one car stays parked with its lights on for a few minutes. God, right now it serves as a pleasant company while I idle inside my own car, thumbing the invitation to fine print, flipping it over until the motions become familiar enough. What should I say? How should I say it? There's a very high chance he'll say no, but on top chance he accepts, what should I do? Oh, she's asking if he will be her, like, +1 to the party. fears, doubts, questions I haven't asked before, and more than often not, the anxiety is because of him. 17 years ago, I had been in the same position, a different letter in hand. Somehow, nothing has changed. Perhaps if he had noticed how I've always felt about him all these years, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Honestly, he managed to ace all those exams at school without even lifting a finger, and he could have figured this out?
How dense can he get?
But I can't very well wait for another 2 decades just for something as measly as an invitation, can I? It's not like it's going to be a date. Although, frankly, I wouldn't mind if it is. However, that's a wish best reserved for some other time. I won't get anywhere if I just keep thinking about the what-ifs. Gathering all of my thoughts and courage, I step out of the car and gingerly make my way upstairs, invitation in hand. Ever since the incident 3 years ago, there's a strange air, permanent atmosphere here. Weighted, but the sort that slowly trickles through you until the burden of it finally bogs you down with some kind of disquiet. The days since have been uneasy, and Isabella's absence from her flat does not help settle it. Every day, coming home somewhat feels like an uphill battle itself, leaving you spent when you're supposed to be getting some rest. Is Zachary experiencing the same thing? I certainly am. The same weary slump is also on Ashton's shoulders. Once I catch a glimpse of him, he's leaning casually on the rails, his back against the metal surface, while reading through a bunch of papers. Each one appears more important than the other, despite me having never read a letter of it. He'll probably head back to the precinct after this, if he's not going to drop by Zachary's for a bit of shut-eye. No rest for the wicked. But no matter how occupied he seems, he pauses anyway and looks up from his work the moment he hears my threats. He raises a hand in greeting as a small smile spreads across his lips. Exhausted as I am, I can't help but return it to him.
What brought you here?
He hums something inaudible, neither an answer nor even a vague hint, before he turns his attention back to the papers. For a passing second, I thought he had ignored or evaded the question like every single time I've asked. But then he shovels the documents back to the binder and sets it aside with a huff. It sounds more fatigued than I've ever heard him in recently. Even there's simply too many things keeping him busy at once, or his investigation isn't going too well. Maybe even both.
Just work.
Just work? Do you expect me to believe that?
Awkward.
In a way. I didn't think an important contact ditched me and now I'm stuck would make for a cool alibi. Did it work?
As if there's going to be any difference. You're still a dafty. Anyway, do you want to come in? But if you're going to hang around for a bit, you better turn those headlights off. My landlady's one hairline away from banning you off this place, you know? Stop taking the piss out of her. She's a nice woman.
When she stops taking the piss out of Shirley,
Oh
maybe
my
I
God.
will.
You and your bloody car.
The first time I heard the name, I doubt I did a double take. From the way that he puts it, it was as if he was talking about some woman he met somewhere, surprisingly got along with and grown fond of. Never mind how impossible that is, knowing his lack of interest for people outside our small circle. Honestly, it sent a surge of panic in me. She got jealous over the name. It lasted for days, until he proudly introduced me to his new car. His car!
Hey, it's a nice name. Don't laugh at it. You'll hurt her feelings. I'm gonna have to give that offer a pass, though.
Nothing unexpected, but admittedly, I'm hoping he'll stay for a few minutes. Suddenly, asking him to accompany to some housewarming party is starting to turn into a bad idea. If he can't even be bothered to spare a second of this to his friends, what more if he has to stand some hours in a room full of strangers?
I need to get going. I just dropped in to check on something and...
His words trail off, cut mid-sentence on purpose, leaving it for me to comprehend the rest of it. At the same time, his eyes shift momentarily towards the door closest to us, Isabella's unit, eerily quiet now in her absence. The instant his lips curve into a small frown and his shoulders tense, I know work is far from his reasons for being here. Being all too aware of that idea alone summons another dull ache straight into my chest. Like every time, every single moment, he affords her the attention he can never seem to spare others. While it is a worry better left for a different situation, it twinges the heart nevertheless.
Is there a problem?
Nothing of note. Abigail just wanted to ask her a few things. It's related to that incident with Cooper. You heard the one.
Hold on. She isn't in trouble, is she?
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. And do you really think Scaredy Cat can do anything like that? It's just an off-the-record thing, okay? Abigail wanted to confirm something. She knows I'm friends with someone working at BRC, so she asked me. Apparently she isn't getting anything from that company, as long as the red tape's in the way. It's nothing urgent, though. She isn't answering her phone again, so I thought I'd check myself. I can wait until she gets home.
If she comes home soon. The last time I saw her was 2 nights ago.
His demeanor immediately changes. Despite his careful attempt to appear nonchalant, his eyes scream of an unspoken worry. It's almost painful to see how much he tries to hide it, especially in front of someone he knows for years.
What? Did she take a vacation or something?
No word from her, unfortunately. And I don't think she'll go on a trip without telling us. It's been 2 days. 3 if she's not going to show up tomorrow either. Do you think we might have to file a missing person report?
I hope not. Even Zach's not acting like himself already. I wonder what that guy ate. But let me know if anything happens. You know how to contact me. I'll see you later, Becca.
Ashton squeezes my shoulder, light as he can, before stepping away and heading straight for the stairs. His way of offering comfort in the middle of this little mess we found ourselves in. But amidst of all of this, a tiny voice in the back of my mind nudges at a memory, something I've forgotten, the very reason why I've chosen to return home early. He's made it 4 steps down when realization kicks in, and awareness of the envelope I've been holding returns to me. Panic brews before our proper words can form, or I can think about the situation. Not for a second sooner, I'm calling after him.
Ashton, wait!
He halts, 1 foot already down another step, when he turns to me, raising an eyebrow in question.
Yeah?
And of all times, it is this moment when I falter. The adrenaline from earlier panic sudden recedes. All of a sudden, none of the things I prepared to say will take form, and I'm caught between simply forgetting about this or just blurting it out while hoping for the best. Should I even? Oh man, it's because I really want Ashton and Isabella together, so, I mean, he's gonna be there anyway, right? He's gonna be at Hannah's, like, housewarming party regardless. Gonna be interesting to see how different it's gonna be, but, never mind, I'm sorry. Is there even a point to it? From the start, I already know what his answer will be. Why should I bother?
No, forget about it. Don't mind me.
Sorry.
It sounded important for a moment.
Even if I tell you, you would be interested.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Someone sent an invite for a housewarming party, and I was hoping you'd...
No. I'd rather stand on the messy end of a gunshot.
See?
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
You know I hate going to those, Becca.
Contrary to his words, however, he reaches out and takes the envelope off my hands. He is silent for a handful of seconds, inspecting its crisp surface and the same blaze interest he's had for schoolwork years ago.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I can just go alone.
Have you tried asking Zach? He'll be a better companion.
Despite his well-meaning in that suggestion, it annoys me to hear it directly from him. How I felt it for him has always gone over his head, for some ridiculous reason. Not that he's entirely to blame for it, part of it is mine. Maybe if I told him early on, I wouldn't be in position. I mean, yeah, right? If she did tell him, like, hey, I like you more than a friend a long time ago, maybe there would have been a chance. But I feel like it's too late because he's already in love with Isabella, so it's just awkward.
If Zachary's not busy, I'll ask him. Whatever. Just give that back. I'll figure it out on my own. You go ahead and do whatever plans you have for tonight.
He doesn't hand it back, though, even when I hold out my hand to him, expecting. His indifference has disappeared. Now he's glaring at the seal as if he'd done the whole world wrong. Gently, he pries it open and quietly reads through the contents. I don't know what he finds in it, but his eyebrows drawn together as his eyes scan through the little lines of text printed on the small piece of paper. His hold onto it tightens with each pass, and by the time he finishes reading through, his mouth has formed into a thin line.
Ash?
How come you've never mentioned this before?
Well, obviously, I just got that last Tuesday.
Not the invitation. The one who sent this.
Who? Hannah Wright? She's an old family friend, Ash. Mom and Dad used to teach her. That was a long time ago. I don't even remember ever meeting the woman. Don't you think I would have mentioned her to you if I somehow made a friend like her?
Don't go to this party. Don't even invite Zach.
I can't do that. I already promised Mom. What's gotten into you?
A whole minute of silence passes. Even enough time for him to answer, but he doesn't. He merely turns the invitation into his hands, his scowl growing deeper with each second slipping by. In the end, my own impatience and frustration wins out. We're back at this again, but back to these wordless exchange, filled with every single uttered thing he refused to share with me.
Ashton, it's just a party. If you don't want to join me, just say so. Don't ruin other people's plans.
He hums something inaudible under his breath, all the while thumbing the paper, staring at it as if it will do some offer him answers to every unspoken question in his head. When he gleans at nothing in it, he merely folds the envelope back in its form.
All right. I'll go with you.
What the hell?
What?
I'll go with you. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless you've already made up your mind about asking Z-Man.
No, I told you already the guy's busy. Why would I bother him for this when I can go alone? But what about your own work and...
I can make time for this. 3 o'clock, yeah? I'll pick you up an hour or so before.
My head reels, less from what this implies, more from how easily this all seems for him, how fast this turnaround is. He's already halfway down the stairs when any semblance of sense returns to me, and I can finally string 2 words of protest together. Yet all of it dies on my tongue at the small smile he shoots me. He disappears from the view a second later. His footsteps gradually fading as he descends the stairwell until I can hear my own shallow breaths and my heart be loud pounding hard against my chest. It is only after I'm standing alone in my room, minutes later, that it sinks in. He has taken the invitation with him, but besides that, more than that, he has also accepted mine. Calling this happiness is a complete underestimated. For now, looming thoughts of the mansion and the woman lay silent in the back of my head. I wonder if Ashton's gonna ignore Rebecca during this because they're going to the party together rather than separately, so let's see what happens.
Chief? Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Long time
So
friend.
he is gonna ditch her. Okay, so this is after Hannah and Luke's explosive argument. Chatter explodes throughout the whole foyer once the door has been promptly shut. Worried murmurs, click of tongues, and inappropriate gossip filter through the thick tension of the room. I couldn't care less about any of it. Besides, it's pretty obvious what the topic is. Most of them haven't even left the premise and they're already talking about it. Tomorrow will be on the news for sure, in every local broadsheet and tabloid in Luxbourne. Simply thinking about it already gives me a headache. When the shock is faded, I feel bone tired. I've accomplished nothing of what I came here for, and Ashton's nowhere to be found. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening and might have just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously had some other motive for being here. Can't he at least trust his own friends for that?
He didn't have to lie to me.
The only relief it had of this perhaps is Zachary's comforting smile when he approaches. He appears to be disturbed when he stands beside me, fiddling with his buttons on his camera, even though the device is off.
Eventful night, huh?
You can say that again. It was awful.
He pauses for a moment, stares at me intently. Then he laughs, a tired one but filled with humor, in spite of what we just witnessed.
Let me guess. Ashton?
Everybody knows.
Oh, what makes you think he's my problem?
Just a hunch, and, it's all in your face, actually.
Why does he have to? I don't understand that man anymore.
Like I always say, you should just...
Oh, you can bet your ass we're going to have a very long talk. I'm not letting him off easy this time.
I'm sure he has a good reason. He won't say it, but he likes being around us. Heck, we're probably the only people he likes.
It is true.
He ain't gonna ruin that for something stupid. He can be dense, but he ain't dumb.
But that's exactly what I've been telling people, isn't it?
We'll see about that. Let's just go. Are you done here?
Yeah, no use staying when...
Oh, just then the door to the ballroom slams open and the very irate Luke marches out of the foyer. By now, most of the guests have trickled out of the mansion, leaving only a few loitering around the room. With his fury still at peak boiling point, it's only natural he'll zero in on the tallest person within his temper blast radius. Although he's not really making an effort to let the remaining people in the hall hear his tirade.
Well, well, still here I see. Having a grand time, aren't we? Every bloody goss in this fucking city has something to talk about tomorrow. Great news day, isn't it? I wonder what the headlines will be. Cheating husband lashes out at poor wife.
I ain't a part of the media, sir. Miss Wright only hired me for the photos, nothing more.
Oh, the photos, of fucking course. How could I forget? Darling wifey needs a bloody souvenir, doesn't she? Something to remind her of how she humiliated her asshole of a husband.
I'm sure it ain't like that, sir. Hannah's no one expected.
Hand it over.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, what?
Are you also deaf? Do I always have to spell everything out to you peasants? Hand the blasted thing over! All of you! If I see one picture, even a single shot of a fucking spoon tomorrow, you will all lose more than your jobs!
Probably your life!
Now give me the bloody camera!
I can't do that, sir. I do freelance work, and this is my...
Do I look like I give a shite? Give it to me, or...
I wonder what Kylie will say if she sees Tio Luke right now.
Damn right! For a short second, he looks surprised to find me there. To be honest, I didn't realize I've spoken either until he turns a livid glare at me. A lesser person would probably cower under it. I will too, perhaps, in another situation where he isn't throwing insults at my friend. To that one, I simply can't let go of.
Oh, Daisy, oh, Daisy. Do you always have to butt in on other people's discussions?
I wouldn't have to if there was actually one happening right now. It's pretty one-sided, eh? A bit offensive, too, if you ask me.
Woman, why don't you just bugger
Whoa,
off? No
whoa.
one cares what your opinion is, especially
Rebecca!
in my home.
Oh, no, whack this dude.
You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Luke, right? I don't have any plans of staying longer. I'm only here to fetch my friend. I wasn't expecting to see an asshole standing beside him, though.
Rebecca, you really don't have to.
Oh, no, you shut your trap. Let her say what she wants. I'd love to hear it. That feisty attitude is going to take you places, Daisy. Fair warning, though, woman, and I've said this plenty of times.
There's a pause as he steps closer, staring me down with almost little to no effort. I do my best to hold it, but I won't deny flinching at the tone he takes. Once he lets loose, the next words come from his mouth.
Threats do not work on me.
It's kind of creepy because it's true. Like, he'll kill everyone. He doesn't care. Then and there, I believe him, and that's this man is capable of doing so much more than what any intimidating remark can lob at him.
So if you don't have anything worth my while to say, it'd be in your best interests if you remove you and your precious friend from my property. Now, before I get the security to drag you out.
Another person takes that decision out of my hands.
Come on, Becca. He ain't worth your time.
Without wasting time, Zachary pulls me away from him. By the time I regain my senses, he's already tugging me by the wrist towards the wide-open doors. The stubborn part in me, however, the part who has seen the kind of person he is when he's with Kylie, refuses to withdraw without flinging into the last retort.
And here I thought you were a halfway decent guy. Whatever happened to the person his goddaughter looks up to?
He was never there, Daisy. That man died a long time ago. You're better off not looking for him.
I mean, I guess in a way it's true, right? That's what he used to be like until he became the heiress of the right enterprise. I won't. I have no intention to, but I still can't resist the urge to glance back before I leave. If only I have one last look at the man he really is, perhaps I should be thankful this brief acquaintance isn't going anywhere. But the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it, and Lady Charlotte is there. Yep, right there, holding on to him. Unless it's Takako, but I think that's Charlotte because her hair is all curly, and Takako has straight hair, so I don't know.
Rebecca? You okay? You ain't looking too good. You're shaking.
Hastily, I retract my hands from his hold, crossing my arms across my chest instead, in some lame attempt to keep the smallest of movements down. The cold from the tips of my fingers seeps through the thick material of my shirt regardless. Neither of it helps bring together some semblance of coherent thought in my head.
Don't worry about it. I'm good. Zachary, did you see anything back there?
Oh, that what happened in the ballroom? Or...
No, not that. In the foyer, right behind... Never mind. You go ahead of me.
You can
Someone
talk
has
to him
to
though,
warn
Zach
him.
knows.
I'll just catch a cab on my own.
Warn him of what? Wait, Rebecca, did you forget something in there? I can...
I turn away and walk before he can stop me with a word of protest. It's not wise, coming back, that is, especially after what happened. But Hannah is still an old friend, and Luke's neither friend nor enemy, just an acquaintance who doesn't deserve whatever misfortune that letter might bring. I can't leave those two in there. Isabella's right, she's real, and there's something she wants from everyone who has read that.
What took you so long? Let's go. I'll get the both of you back to the city.
Oh, my mistake. The second his voice cuts through the crisp night air is that I've allowed my noise to get the better of me. Fuming with my own purpose, I've forgotten, I roll around and march towards him. One accusation after another piles onto the tip of my tongue, ready to be hurled at any moment. There's no hesitation holding me back when I fling it at him. That straight face he keeps as I do so doesn't help temper my anger either. It only makes me want to slap some sense into him.
Shouldn't we be the one asking you that?
Yikes, and they're gonna argue here.
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time since that mess in the hall. I told you I hate parties like...
And before that, where have you been the entire evening? Fine. Suit yourself. But don't you dare think this will be the end of this. We'll talk about this tomorrow, and you better have a proper answer for me by then.
No more words. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. Oh, okay, so it didn't end in a terrible fight. That's kind of good. Okay, here's the dreaded mistake I made the first time. So we actually have to go to the door, not upstairs. We already saw the fragment of that, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Anyway, so Rebecca found that Takako used to be a witch, and Charlotte set her free because she used to be a slave, and then she banished enslavement in Ainsome Village. But the thing is, she burned her alive. So that kind of goes back to the sacrifice thing Andrew was talking about earlier. So hopefully we can kind of connect everything a little bit closer. Anyway, let's go to the goddamn door. If there's one, it's out of this room, out of this place, as far as anyone can get from her. I can think about the rest of what I want to do after I'm outside. When there are people, I can ask for help. When she's not chasing after me like this, there's no hesitation in my steps as I race for the restricted section's door, head downstairs, and barrel straight for the library's exit, towards safety, in a desperate bid for my life. Library rules be damned. I can no longer hear her behind me, but I'm not making any chances. My breath almost escapes me as I near the door. A little more, when out of nowhere, a library cart, careens from the blind corner and slams into my sides. Oh! My back hits the floor with a hard thud, and the impact completely knocks out a breath of me. The copper tang of blood gradually spreads over my tongue as I fight to get my bearings back. I force myself to move, even when the excruciating pain courses through my limbs. The exit's almost there. Finally, I can... there's no moment of respite! Ah! Girl, you gotta stop! Oh my god, she's so pretty! The next thing I know, there's a heavy weight on top of me and cold edges around my neck, tight like a vice, pressing, closing in, leaving me gasping for air. Through my blurred vision, I can only make out the hateful gleam. In spite of her eyes, as she looms over my body and grips on my throat, grows tighter. Desperation kicks in. My nails dug into her wrist, and I struggled against her firm grip, trying to pry her fingers off. Okay, so you can touch her then. Kick her!
Go! Let me go!
I don't think twice. My limbs are moving on their own before what I did could fully register in my brain and my lung could recover. Behind me, she lets out a cry, sharp and loud, and a thunderous against the empty walls of the library. But the fear her wails brings compares nothing to the relief washing over me when I finally make it out. I saved Rebecca! My knees buckle as soon as my feet hit the pavement and the surface cold hard against my skin. I've only been in there for a few hours, about 1 or 2 probably? I don't know anymore, it feels like an eternity all the same. My breathing hasn't slowed down yet, and I don't expect it to go through that. I probably look like the most undignified creature on this Sunday morning right now, out of breath, disheveled, slumped here with a blood lip and all. But at present, I simply can't bring myself to care when a few passers start to give me strange looks. Stare at me all you want, I don't give a single shit. I'm alive. I'm safe! This isn't the end yet, but I'm safe. And inside my bag is something that could get us out of this mess. Not definite yet. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's still something. If Isabella is here, I'm sure she'll feel the same. She'll even be the first one who'll put her faith on it. Whether this will lead us to victory on its own. Now that it's left to find the others, the rest of us is trapped in this bloody nightmare. Right on cue, if any answer to my previous thought, my mobile phone lets out a beep, and I pick it up, simply hoping it'll be one of them. Only it's a voicemail that greets me. From Ashton. There's a pang of disappointment, of course, but it brings some reassurance that nothing's happened to at least one of them.
Hey, Becca, call me back when you're free. We need to talk.
Yes, I saved her! He ends it right there. The message less than a minute long, curt, and gives nothing away. I let it ease my worries, regardless that I do as he asks. But this, too, is another triumph for us. One less thing to worry about. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end this episode of The Letter, so I finally saved Rebecca, but that really scared me when she jumped up and started choking her. So what the thing is, you can kick her, right? You can touch her. I mean, Ashton did that in his chapter too, but the thing is, like, if you're able to do that, then would weapons work on her? Like, if you do shoot her with a gun, example, with Ashton's gun, would that weaken her or make her go away for a bit or something? That's what I wonder. I guess we'll find out very soon. But yeah, anyway, we saved them. We got more information about Takako and what's going on. It's kind of connecting to what Andrew said. So everything is coming together. Now, unfortunately, we're gonna go into Ashton's chapter next, and I have to kill him, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying this episode of The Letter, remember to leave a like, let me know in the comments what you think, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you know when I upload the next episode of The Letter. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Sorry, Hirotoku. His face is red! We said his name! Oh my god, who's this? Develop another character. Video game deaths can be tragic. Here are 6 sad character deaths from video games. Roman, Grand Theft Auto 4.